Well, hello. Welcome. I'm Sherry. This is Quilts and Other Happy Accidents. So, for those of you that are new to the channel, my whole goal is to use my stash. And I started this when I retired in March of 2025. And I've made lots of quilts, but like I said, I need to use up some smaller pieces. So I got to going through all the different videos out there, and there's lots of crafting videos, and most of them are really, really good. So today I'm going to show you two projects that I've been working on and some little tricks on how I've made them work for what's in my stash. All right, my first project are coffee sleeves. Seems like everybody and their brother is showing us how to make coffee sleeves. And I found some really good videos. But what I really wanted was a coffee sleeve that was continuous so I wouldn't have to put on Velcro or buttons or whatever. And I found it. And it was done by Jessica Oaklaroots. And she has a free pattern at oaklaroots.com/pattern vault. I'm going to put that information in the description below. And I broke out my leftovers. And what she suggested was that you use iron on batting. Well, I don't have iron on batting. So I looked at some other videos and some other people quilted theirs on, but I had a really hard time because the quilting either just didn't look right. I tried a vertical, but then it started bunching and kind of making it smaller than I wanted, so I stopped. And as I often do, solved the problem in my sleep because I remembered down in the bottom of my tackle box that I use as my whatnot supplies, I had hemming tape. Remember the good old fusible hemming tape? Well, I tried it. And what I ended up doing was putting a piece on each end of the batting and down the middle so that they were all going vertically like this. And that held the batting in place beautifully so that I could make these reversible coffee sleeves. And what a great way to use up the dancing chickens. Don't you love those? And see what's inside? Poultry netting. I used to call it chicken wire. Apparently, that's not okay. But I found some other really fun fabrics and just some florals and things that I didn't really have anything to go with. And I just made a whole bunch of them. And I'm planning on taking them with me to use as gifts when we go camping. Now, why do I need to give gifts when I'm camping? Well, it's really simple. Bill and I usually get ourselves into a pickle because neither one of us are good at backing the camper, but there's always somebody around to help us. And they never want to take money, so I have coffee sleeves. And I thought that would just be a really cool thing that I could throw in the camper. It won't take up much space. Oh, and by the way, the patterns are free downloads, super easy to use, right? So I would encourage you to look at Jessica Oaklaroots, and the name of her video is Continuous Reversible Coffee Sleeves. It worked great for me. All right, the second project. The second project is the kitchen scarves or the kitchen boa. Again, lots of people are making it. And I got to looking at different ways people were making it. And some of them just had so many. And I tried them. I tried their way. Didn't work. So let me show you some shortcuts. I will refer to the people that made the videos and put them in the description. But I've kind of blended the whole process. They all do sort of the same thing, but not exactly. So I did buy these lovely towels from Costco. They are 100% cotton, which is imperative because these kitchen scarves not only are great so that you always have a towel, but that way if you need to reach in the oven and grab something, you don't have to search for the hot pad or the oven mitt or whatever. So you definitely want 100% cotton. And again, I started pulling things out of my stash. Doesn't that look great together? So some of the videos said to press them, some didn't. I found it was best to press them, not only just so I can get the halfway mark on the towel, but then I added another halfway mark to make the pleating easier. Let me change my camera angle and show you what I'm talking about. So by having that halfway mark folded in, it's really easy to get your pleats even. And it really doesn't matter how big the pleats are, they can be any size. And different towels are going to be different sizes, so that gives you some variability. But I went one step further. I marked the center of the towel where I had pressed it. And once I had my pleats in, I did a zigzag stitch about a half inch on each side of that center line so that I could cut it in half and make sure each of these towel ends is perfectly even and symmetric. That made things much simpler. So then you've got your 13-inch with the fabric piece that's the scarf part, and you sew down the back seam, leave a little bit open so that you can pull it through. And by doing it that way, now you've got the center of the towel and the pleats easily aligned with the center of this seam so that once you turn this out, you won't see the seam and this will hang perfectly symmetric. See how nice and neat that is? A couple of tricks with the towel. When you sew this pleat in, and I suppose you don't have to use zigzag. I chose to use zigzag because towels ravel so much and I really wanted to hold that. But switch to your walking foot and adjust the pressure on your presser foot. I found that the machine was working so hard once I relieved some of that pressure, it sewed much nicer. And it only takes a few pins to hold it in place. I did the seam a good 5/8 away so that I was sure to catch all of these edges. Even though I'd pinned it, I just wanted to give myself the benefit of the doubt. Then using this opening, just pull your towel through. Sure you can. There we go. Look how nice and clean that is. My edges are good. My pleats are even. It really looks good. The last step is just to put a bit of stitching here. And then after you've pulled it through, here, let me show you on one of these. You could close that hole with hand stitching if you want. I'm inherently lazy, and since this is just for the kitchen, I did a little narrow seam here just to close it, but then I took it one step further and folded each side of the um, boa to narrow this because once I put it on, that 6.5 inches was really too wide for me. Let me show you what it looks like on. See what you think. Well, there it is. You can see the utility of this because for Pete's sakes, I'm always spilling something or needing to wipe my hands and I have to track down the towel. This is kind of a time saver and it's so cute. And you can see this one, the pleats are on the inside, but when I made this one, I went the other way with the pleats. Doesn't really show well. There we go. It doesn't matter. What matters is you've got a towel right here to take care of whatever kitchen disaster happens. These are really quick and easy. Start to finish, 30 minutes for each one. And I was doing 2 at a time because, well, it just worked out that way. I did buy the towels from Costco, as I mentioned earlier, but all of the fabric is just out of my stash and is just another way to get my fabric used up. I think it's a great little project. I'm going to keep working on some of these things, and next time you see me, we'll be doing some quilting. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up.